You think you choose your life, your habits, your ambition, even your body. But you're wrong. The real choices are being made for you by people you will never meet. You've heard the rule, you're the average of your 5 closest friends. It's a nice, comforting thought. It makes you feel in control. It's also dangerously incomplete because the people actually shaping who you become, they're not your 5, they're strangers. And I'm about to show you the signs of how they're editing your reality and exactly how to take control back. Let me explain. So there's this study, actually it's the study on this. Nicholas Christakis and James Fowler, they wrote a book called Connected. They got access to this massive health project, the Framingham Heart Study. Thousands of people tracked for decades, but instead of just looking at who got sick, they mapped the social connections. They knew who was friends with who lived near who, the whole invisible web. And at first, nothing surprising. They saw that if someone became obese, their friends were more likely to become obese later. Okay, makes sense. You hang out, you eat together, habits rub off. But then they looked one step further, at the friend of a friend, someone the original person might not even talk to directly. And the data showed if that person gained weight, the original person's odds still went up. No shared meals, no direct contact, just ripple. And it went another step, to the friend of a friend of a friend, weaker but still there, still measurable. Let that land for a second. Someone 3 degrees removed from you, someone your friend's friend knows, a complete stranger in your extended network can influence your health, your body. That means right now someone you've never met is quietly editing what you think is normal. And you're doing the same to them. You're all in each other's heads, whether you like it or not. So what's actually spreading here? What are we catching from strangers? It's not a virus. You're not copying the person 3 steps away. What's moving through the web is something quieter, something you probably don't even notice. It's a shift in what feels normal. Think about it. You don't catch weight gain. You catch a slightly expanded idea of what a normal body looks like. Your brain is constantly, unconsciously scanning, asking, is this okay? Is this fine? Am I the weird one? When people in your extended network gain weight, that internal question, is this okay, starts answering itself differently. Portion sizes don't look as big. Skipping the gym feels less like a failure, more like what everyone's doing. Your baseline drifts, and once your baseline shifts, your behavior follows. Not because you made a conscious choice, but because the choice just feels different now. The world looks different now. That's how it works. You're not copying anyone, just resetting what feels normal. And this applies to everything. Here's where it gets interesting. Sociologists have a name for the people who actually change us. They call them weak ties. Weak ties include the acquaintances, the person you worked with 3 years ago, someone you follow who has no idea you exist. And these connections seem unimportant because you don't call them on bad days. You don't celebrate birthdays with them. They're just there. But here's what the research shows. Weak ties are the single biggest source of new ideas, new opportunities, and new ways of thinking. Why? Because your close friends already think like you. That's why you're close. You've shaped each other. You share the same blind spots, the same assumptions, the same normal. Weak ties don't. They move in different circles. They know different things. They've been normalized by completely different environments. So, when they mention something casually, a job you didn't know existed, a way of thinking you'd never considered, a problem you didn't realize had a solution, it lands like a tiny grenade in your brain. One conversation can reroute your whole trajectory. That's the power of weak ties. They're not there to confirm your world. They're bridges to a completely different normal. That's why moving cities can rewire you. Why a new job reshapes your ambition. Why certain online spaces slowly, quietly shift how you see everything. You're not just entering a new place, you're plugging into a whole new web of weak ties. And they will recalibrate you without you even noticing. Which brings us to the biggest web most of us are swimming in right now. Your feed. We need to stop calling it content. It's not content, it's your environment, running 24/7 in your pocket. If your feed is full of 4 a.m. empire builders, your steady effort starts to feel like laziness. If it's all burnout and cynicism, exhaustion starts to feel like the only sane response. If it's constant comparison, your quiet contentment starts to feel suspicious, not because any of it's true, but because your normal has shifted. The thing is, influence never looks like influence. It just looks like reality, like the way things are. And that's the trap. When something feels like reality, you stop questioning it. You stop seeing the web altogether. Most people will watch this, nod along, and then go back to the exact same feed, the exact same circles, the exact same normal. And 5 years from now, they'll wonder why nothing changed. But never once will they question the invisible web they've been swimming in. So let's make this useful. Right now, here is a simple 3-step system to audit the invisible influences in your life and take back control. Step 1. The normal scan. For the next 24 hours, just observe. In your conversations and on your feed, don't judge, just notice. Ask yourself what behaviors, beliefs, or attitudes are being presented as normal here. Is it complaining about work, obsessing over productivity, quiet contentment? You're just gathering data. Step 2. The feed as garden edit. Your feed is a garden. Every week do one small edit. Unfollow one account that leaves you feeling drained, envious, or like your normal life isn't enough. Then follow one account that represents a normal you want to adopt. Someone doing calm, consistent work. Someone with the kind of relationships you want. You're not copying them. You're just letting their reality gently adjust your baseline. Step 3. The weak tie injection. Once a month, intentionally find a new weak tie. Read one article from a field you know nothing about. Join one online discussion in a community you're curious about. Listen to one podcast episode with a guest who thinks completely differently than you. You're not looking for a new best friend. You're just opening a tiny bridge to a different world, letting a new normal in. Look, this isn't about blaming anyone. Your friends aren't a problem. The internet isn't evil. It's about learning to see the architecture. Once you realize influence works like a web, you start asking the question that actually matters. The one that gives you control. What's being normalized around me? That question changes everything. Because once you see the invisible, you can stop confusing it for who you are. You can audit your weak ties. You can look at your feed and ask, is this my reality or just someone else's normal I accidentally adopted? And that awareness. That's not just insight. That's the wheel. If this hit and you want to learn how to see more of the invisible patterns shaping your life, subscribe. We're here to make the invisible visible.